a very formidable array of enemies, both external and within. And we are going to overcome each and every one of these obstacles. That I can assure you. That they may know that the God we worship is an invisible God, not a God that was wrought by the hands of men. For we do not worship idol, and we can never ever worship idol. Is impossible. This very family disciple Most High. And that is how it's going to be until Biafra comes and beyond to eternity. This evening, I want to place it on record that our enemies are intensifying their attack against us from every corner. I am not saying this as lamentation or complaint. I am only trying to prepare our people for what is to come. You are being prepared for what is to come. The time has come to separate the chaff from the wheat itself. Our march is very, very near. The enemies are trembling, they are quaking, they are doing all they can to try to stop us. But they have failed very woefully, and they will continue to fail. But I want to say that we are getting attacks from everywhere all over the world. And very soon, they will buy over some of you. They will buy some of you over. The spirit of Ipob, Biafra, and Ifajuna are still in some of you. When the time comes, they will buy you over. I am not doing this program tonight to ask all of you to be strong. I am doing it to remind you, not that if they succeed in buying you over, you're not going to stop what we are doing. You can't. You cannot. Not in a trillion years. But I need you to appreciate one very simple fact. That at the end of this very race, everybody will testify that indeed the same God of Israel, of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the same God of Ehiri in Aguleri, the same God of Umweri, the same God of Ora-Eri, the same God of Owe-Eri, the same God of Arochukwu. Not to be looked at the true God, one true God. You know that indeed, not only is he omnipotent, that same God is the owner of this very agitation. No human being can stop it. We have enemies, and we need to be very, very careful, both within and without. Very, very careful. The next 2 weeks will be very pivotal. Next 2 weeks will be very, very important in the life, or should I say, in this very mission that we have embarked upon. The devil will do everything. And you are going to watch spectacularly how we are going to destroy and shame the enemy. That at the end, every glory and adoration will belong to God and not to man. Now let us go and tell you what is happening that some of you do not understand. I want those of you who are hardcore, those who we have chosen before you were born. There were some people who were chosen before they were born to agitate for Biafra restoration. This is a message for you. Those who from their mother's womb they were born to do this very work. You must be very, very strong. Because Biafra will open the eyes of black people all over the world. Because Biafra will mean that blacks from America, blacks from the Caribbean, from Southern America, they will all flood. It will be like the time that Yeshua was born. Biafra is like a light, a beacon. They will follow it. They will say, let us go and see what is happening there. That is what these neo-colonialists do not want. They don't want Biafra to come. I am telling our people so they understand. The mountains, I didn't say one mountain, the mountains in front of us that we need to overcome. And for us to overcome it, we need to be very strong mentally, mental strength. Just like when you're doing anything in life, and it appears as if you are being buffeted from everywhere. That is the time that you no longer rely on willpower or your muscles. You go to your brain to endure and to persevere and to keep going until you overcome. That is the stage we are in right now. To make sure that our brain is in gear to confront everything the Janjaweed has to throw at us. We don't have money. Their budget is over $20 billion to fight us. They can bribe Facebook, they can buy them off. They can do anything they like. They can come to some of you and bribe you off. They can promise you what you've never had before. They can give you maybe a house in Dubai. They can promise you a vehicle. They can tell you, oh, we'll make you vice president. They can promise you anything to make sure that you're like them. But this very IPOB, this very hardcore is not going to move. And I will tell you why we can't move.
I have not just I will, I have become your last born. And said it from till now. I will be your end unto Biafra. I will be, I have not just I will, I have become your last bus stop. I said it from the beginning till now. I will be your end until Biafra come.
Welcome once again. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wonderful people of Biafra. We salute you from all over the world. And we are here again. For those of you watching us from Biafra land, we say Ndewo for your sit at home and for you standing strong to this very time. As it happened, that's how we did show and that's how we did come. So I salute all my comrades in the house. And I thank you for your formidability and your steadfastness and synergy, and also the willingness to be there when you are needed. The sacrifice is commendable. The Biafran people also loves you, same way you love them. Our leader is Mazin Namdi Okukanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, the indomitable leader, the Omarike one of Biafra. No one is comparable to him because all have failed, but he's still waxing strong to our freedom. Simon Ekpa is our spokesperson of Biafra. So if you do not know it now. It is not your making, but the making of the Biafran people. So you like him or you hate him, he is doing the mandate of the Biafran people. Never to all of you. Thank you all for being part and parcel of this day. We encourage you to hit the like button and the share as we remind you of the need for us to push one Nigeria out of Biafra land, because it is not we that have to leave Nigeria, but Nigeria has to leave Biafra land, because Biafra land has existed 500 years ago and even more before Nigeria came to force us together against our will. So it is time to push Nigeria out so that the Biafran people can stay safe and sound. And on this very note, our comrades will greet you one after another. Thank you very much. Matthew Okonkwo, please grace the house. They will from here.
Yes, Barawa, good evening, sir, from here. And I want to thank all of us who are here, starting from Pastor Livingstone, 247 Ugo, Mazi Kelesha, salute you and my brother Biko. It is a privilege to be here, Biafrans and lovers of freedom. We are those people that Mazi Nandekano told you about, the people who are called from their mother's womb. We have come to show the words of Mazi Nandekano. That's what we come here to practicalize. Our leader, still Mazi Nandekano, under his auspices, will come tonight to give you this broadcast. Just pay attention, listen. Moreover, share our platform. Go to those comment section, find any one of us, share the broadcast, click the button, subscribe, and also the buttons. Make sure that you circulate this message because we are live and we are direct. God bless you.
God bless you, Mazi. We salute everybody. Ajibo Sunday, we salute you. You know, say you the trouble and you the make our comment section the day agile. So we greet you from here. Mazi Owubiko, please grab the mic and salute BIAFRANS.
Hello, BIAFRANS. I thank you all. I thank you all for making this movement to be possible. My name is Biko. I thank all the media team, every one of us, Emeka Livingstone, Kelechi, Osunokonkwo, 247 every time, Abarawa. And we also extend our greeting to Ipob, the taproot of all our problem, and the man who is ready to set us all free. While all of us are working under the leadership of Mazen Namano to see that our upcoming generation will not undergo what we are going on today. It's only take a decision when one Mazen Namano can say, when tough get tough, we go back to our mental, and they bring what they call mental toughness to face this kind of difficulty. We are not the only kind of just people in this world that is making history. People have made history a long time ago. We are only trying to imitate from what has been happening in the world. Subscribe to our YouTube, like what we are doing, tell us what we have not done. You have right to criticize the one we have not done well. Tell us why we are not doing it well. We are here to learn, and we are not we are not afraid of making mistake. Rather, we are ready to take correction whenever it takes dictated and whatever we are doing. Thank you all as you subscribe and push this message forward to the last man standing on this planet Earth. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that lovely welcome address. Pastor Emeka. So I think I need to look for another title to see add there so that it will culminate into something. So Pastor Emeka and Mazi Emeka, please, someone should help me with another title so that I will add them. 247, please look for another title that I will add.
Oh my God. God help me. God help me.
Obom Emeka.
You go put Reverend Doctor. Reverend Doctor Bishop.
No,
Hey,
all the
Okonkwo,
doctors.
you are right. God bless you.
All the doctors who don't come out for this IPOB finally become fake. So no give them doctor, no other.
If somebody owe you money. What of professor?
If you put professor, but no put doctor.
If somebody owe you money, you carry Pastor Emeka go there, the person must pay.
As Emeka the best.
Pastor Emeka, please.
The man needs Biafra. As they look at here, this man needs Biafra pass you now. 1 second, they don't carry Biafra.
May God deliver me from your hands.
Biafra,
May God deliver me. May God deliver me from your hands. Biafrans, God bless you.
Yes, now your picture would they see. We know they see you. Now your picture would they see. Maybe we see.
They hear my voice?
Yes, right on, sir.
Okay.
Right on. Your voice is okay. Your face, the way we they see, they okay.
I know hear your voice, and only your face are they see.
That's your set. We should look for a new handset. You should look for a new handset.
Give me money. I know where they sell.
So Biko, let me address BIAFRANS. As Biko was talking, my heart was going somewhere. If BIAFRANS believe that God called Nnamdi Kanu and gave him an instruction, God cannot along the line change that instruction through another person.
Before God changes an instruction, the one he gave must have been fulfilled.
Deep point.
Then go to the next one. And in most cases, God will continue with the man he has started. Even if he brings another person to continue, that person will continue in the line of the original instruction with a follow-up, just like Simon Ekpa is doing. That is my stand in the Biafran thing. There's no suggestion in any wise to tell me that you have political solution to the Biafran issue. Nothing. No matter how educated you are, God does not make mistakes. He called Nnamdi Kanu and he spoke many years ago, and those things are fulfilling. That is my stand. Biafrans, let us build together and get our country. In Jesus' name, amen.
He said,
Amen.
Next time I will add professor to your name, because
Please don't.
the way you articulated the thing itself, the past professor, which I will talk, instructor, which one I will talk. Mazi Kelechi, please, Grace Biafrans, they will from here.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. Biafrans, before I say anything, I want to appreciate my comrades on set and in the studio. And I want to appreciate Mazi Simon Ekpa too. Appreciate Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, our leader. And appreciate everyone who is sacrificing or doing everything that they need to do to make sure that this freedom comes. The Umwada, the synergy we have in the alliance and other things. And at the same time, I want to appreciate every Biafran who is standing strong and tall for this cause of freedom, those who have not compromised, those who have not allowed themselves to be cajoled by the cagey, dingy circumstances around them. But you have allowed yourself to continue in the light of truth. God bless you, very good. And as we go on together, we're going to enter into our freedom to the glory of God the Father and the Son and the Spirit. Thank you so much for joining us, and God bless you wherever you are. Real good. Thank you.
I can see that I am having too many pastors in this autopilot media thing. So it's good so that when we are taking some bullets, they will use Holy Ghost fire to take some bullets for us. It is well. So, 247, please grace the house for us, and they will go from there.
Since you don't detect title, you go to put my own Reverend 247.
Sorry. Let me do official introduction. His Holiness, Reverend.
No, I know be that one. No.
You know,
I know just I know one again.
You know what again?
No, I know one again.
Okay,
because I remember Reverend Nonali Utu, I know one. That is it. So
Ajibo is saying I'm dark, so I shouldn't dress dark. Ajibo Sunday. Thank you. I will not dress dark again. I apologize. I apologize, please.
if Ajibo Sunday remember you today, you know, say now you go finish.
Ajibo Sunday, this way they write down there now. Cut wait till at the top. Watch hand. Watch. Is it all cut music?
Elbow cuff. Can you imagine?
Elbow cuff. Maybe this way, if you talk as if Ajibo Sunday, then yeah, we can do it to her.
I beg we get down to business.
Ben, I greet you
very
much. Greet you. Biafran people, I come with greetings. God bless you all as you join us this evening. Anywhere you watch from, anywhere you watch. Hey. So somebody see they use 3310 for Europe. Hey, for America, they use 3310.
Now come, I put them off.
America. Oh, wait, make I finish my greeting with the Biafran. Before Sunday Ajibo say I no greeter. Sunday Ajibo, I greet you. Short, I throw away salute to give you. Every Biafran, I greet all of you. I love you all. Thank you for being our support. I'd always talk and say, Now we all day into this thing together. Nobody they pass each other. Your smile, your courage, your you're joining me, you're joining us together, encouraging us, telling us well done is your own contribution. Your 1 cent, your 1 million contribution. You being here is a big support. We are all into it together. And we are going into Biafra together by the special grace of God Almighty. Chukwu Okike Abiama. Thank you for coming. Welcome to this program. Enjoy yourself with what you will hear, because Pastor Michael Livingstone is here today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. But as they enjoy themselves, we are not sharing palm wine or dog meat here. I don't think they will get some.
Don't worry, don't worry yourself. Pastor Michael know how you go do them.
Okay, thank you. Anyway, now offering and collection. So as you say, Mecca knows how to do it. I know they
He go collect offering. He go collect offering and tithe.
I did for offering. I did for offering. When I bring the money.
Yeah, I did for tithe. I did present for tithe.
As everybody has given their welcome address, the dragon is also giving his welcome address to the Biafran people. So listen to his welcome address. So
I will be your end until Biafra comes. I will be, I have not just I will, I have become your last bus stop. And said it from the beginning till now. I will be your end until Biafra comes. I will be, I have not just I will, I have become your last bus stop. And said it from the beginning till now. I will be your end until Biafra comes.
okay, we move with the speed of light. So Biafran, we are back again. And what do we have on our topic today? We would like to remind you of the compliance of Britain, the massacre of Biafran people. The Asaba massacre that we remember today should be a point where it will reignite us. It will sparkle some fires that were kind of quenching in us, should give us more strength and courage, and then tell us more to do. We have shown you expositions of how Britain took part in the massacre of Biafrans because of the interest of oil and gas, and how that went is the result of the Asaba massacre. And that has continued since then to this very day. So you cannot talk about the antics, the antecedents, the tactics, or what the president of what British or what Nigeria will give you will do without you talking about the Asaba massacre, or without you talking about what British is all about. Today is not only about Britain specifically. Our problem did not start from only one place. So that is why Biafra, as MNK said in the video we played before, Biafra will open the eyes of every African, and it will open the eyes of the whole world. When you see autopilot media team gather, they don't gather to gossip. They don't gather to discuss one person. They gather to educate you from something that you don't know, so that your knowledge will expatiate, and then you will have a meaning and conviction to intensify your efforts on the freedom of your people. If we stop what we are doing now, they will kill us all. Those are the exact words of Mazin Namdekan. And all of you can see it play out every day. So we have crossed the Rubicon, and it has gotten to a point of no return. Today, we want to show you something else. How Africa was shared on a table. They brought it on a table and then they shared it into pieces. They decided how to take Africa based on the resources that is embedded in African land, the oil and gas, and every other natural resources that God has blessed Africa with in any way that you can ever think of. We are talking about the Berlin Conference of 1884 to 1885, where Africa were divided into pieces to be able to suit the intentions of the white supremacy. So Africa don't suffer, and it is only Biafra that it's only Biafra that would. Without Biafra, no one will stand a chance of. That is why Martin Namdekano should be adored because of the effort he has made. The Berlin Conference of 1884. Africa's great civilization. That is what they term it. It's all a civilization. No, it was because of this that is within. So let us listen to this and then extract what you need to know. We will play it all through because about 7 minutes. Thereafter, we will come to be pinpointing it one after another.
8-4, Berlin, Germany. The leaders of 14 European countries and the United States conference. Theme of the conference was for Western countries to avoid warring among themselves over Africa. The superpowers wanted to ensure maximum control over Africa's resources by establishing rules by which to divide the spoils at the expense of the Africans who rightly own them.
No European nation state could be great without a colony that made many European states compete with each other, vie with each other, colonies in order to make them great.
The Berlin Conference would lay down terms, an orderly carve-up of Africa.
So they sat around amicably, presence of any African, it must be pointed out, and they consulted amongst themselves in order to decide on the rules for occupation.
Across the continent, African peoples waged fierce war in defense of their kingdoms against European encroachment. Diplomatic opportunists roamed the continent, offering truces, often illegal treaties, to rulers of kingdoms whom they could intimidate or persuade to relinquish their control.
Violence should be seen on a spectrum, on a continuum of plunder, pillage, and rape that all the powers engaged in, but they engaged in at varying degrees and at varying levels. And the most horrific exemplar of the violence of colonialism is Congo.
The huge basin of the Congo River in Central Africa is extraordinarily endowed with vast resources. This land, 2.5 million square kilometers, crisscrossed by navigable waterways, was extraordinarily rich in natural resources, brimming with coveted commodities like palm oil, timber, and copper. This region was also blessed with huge quantities of another highly valuable substance, rubber. Advances in the vulcanization of rubber made it more durable and less brittle, facilitating the invention of the pneumatic tire. Soon, rubber would become one of the most sought-after resources on the planet. The ancient rubber vines that grew wild over the equatorial rainforests of Congo had long been exploited exploited by the custodians. But now, outsiders were intent on plundering them. Following the Berlin Conference, Congo Basin was recognized as the possession of its sole owner, the King of the Belgians, Leopold II. Renaming it the Congo Free State, Leopold now personally controlled a territory 76 times the size of his home country.
Since childhood, one of the things he had craved was a colony. And so he created one for himself. And he did it by convincing other European leaders that he was going to spread Christianity and bring in quote-unquote civilization to the people.
King Leopold II's interests in the Congo were largely underpinned by enormous greed. And as a result of that greed, the Belgian Congo became the personal, private property of the King of Belgium. And the discovery of rubber became a godsend to King Leopold II.
Leopold ordered the rubber to be collected as fast as possible. Soon, vast areas were stripped of every single rubber vine.
The mindless plundering of the land for its resources was repeated all across Congo Free State, the profits going into the pockets of one man, Leopold II. The environmental damage was only a tiny part of the story, and it pales into insignificance against the wider picture of corruption, crime, and inhumanity.
In 1890, after touring the Congo Free State, the African-American journalist, lawyer, and historian George Washington Williams wrote an open letter to King Leopold. Published in newspapers throughout the world, it highlighted the horrors practiced against the black people there.
A large demand for the raw materials would necessitate changing the method of producing it, because the Europeans needed these commodities in large quantities. In the case of Leopold, he would impose a very brutal way of extracting the rubber.
Villagers were given strict targets for the amount of rubber they were forced to collect. Punishment for failure was brutal and drastic.
Quotas would be established for the Africans to provide, and if they couldn't provide the quotas, limbs were amputated, people's hands and legs were chopped off, wives were seized, for example, to force men to provide more and more of the rubber.
Leopold's private army of mercenaries, comprised of Congolese soldiers commanded by Belgian officers, policed the operation. Anyone who resisted was shot. Because ammunition was so expensive, severed hands served as proof that a corpse had been harvested. When soldiers had fired more bullets than corpses, they severed the hands of the living, men, women, even children. Visual evidence of the brutality was captured by the English missionary Alice Seeley Harris. Her photographs appeared in anti-slavery pamphlets around the world.
Despite Leopold's claims that the punishments were part of Congolese culture, or that limbs had been severed by wild animals, the photographic evidence was undeniable.
Public outrage shamed the Belgian government into forcing Leopold to relinquish personal control of the colony in 1908. It's estimated that 10 million people, half of Congo's population, perished during Leopold's inhumane rule.
Thank you for listening. If you pondered while the video was going on, some people could be shedding tears, seeing how far and what the colonists have done to the people of Africa. So, if you are looking at that from that side, here is another one that you're looking at from Biafra region. So when you compare all these things, you see that this is a collective effort to make sure no one breathes. So coming to the analytic of it, We will now go back to play it step by step so that we pause for our comrades to pinpoint what they have to say, because there are a lot in these videos and a lot for our people to learn. Everything connects to natural resources, our natural resources. You saw how people were cut to pieces because of our natural resources. Oh my God. Before we play the video first, Mazi Kelechi, do you have something to say?
Yes. Basically, if I want to actually analyze this video in totality, I might digress to an extent. Now, basically, I want to look at, I want to go to the beginning of conquests, in the life of human existence. It began with the issue of the Egyptian conquest, that means the Egyptian Empire, where they suppressed and subjugated Israel, and then to the Assyrian Empire, and then through the Assyrian Empire being the second empire to suppress Israel, and then the Babylonian Empire that came after that and suppressed Israel, and basically everything that these empires do and suppress, every kind of suppression and every action they take has been targeted at using the people and stealing the resources of the people. So when the Assyrian Empire came in, they subjugated Israel and they surrounded Israel. Most times we read, of course, we saw the history, we read history where sometimes they this surrounding Israel, and just like what they did in Biafra, the template of Biafra, taken from that scenario where they subjugate the people by surrounding them and making sure that they are not going out and coming in, they are not doing any trade and business, and the people starved and all of that. Of course, we know the story of the four lepers who were able to, through prophecy and through all of that, Elijah's prophecy and all of that, there were freedom. When we came to the point of the Babylonian Empire subjugating Israel. Now, one thing we should understand why I'm going this line is I don't want to go deep into it. Of course, after the Assyrian Empire, we had the Babylonian Empire, we had the Mede-Persian Empire, we had the Grecian Empire, then we had the Roman Empire that gave room for the British Empire. Now, if you discover something, you discover that the first empire was the Egyptian Empire, which was Africa. Africa actually had control of the world. But when the Assyrian Empire came into play, which of course has to do with the Asian aspect of the globe, and they actually subjugated Africa to the point where Africa now got demoralized and became saw themselves as less than what they actually are. And because the people actually were only concerned about getting themselves educated, getting themselves updated about information, they were not looking at development. Even if we know that Africa was the first aspect of development, where we had the Egyptian empire developing strongly and growing, there was this stop at a particular point where those empires that came after Egyptian empire were able to suppress the people mentally and control them by their religion. At that point, it's now run down through, and of course, knowing Israel, of course, being subjugated all through this process. And we discovered that those people, like the Biafrans or the Ibos, who came out of the Jews, from that land, from the psyche of subjugation, they came to West Africa or the eastern part of West Africa and got themselves having a system that had reduced them. Rather than seeking development in the context of development, they actually got themselves restricted in the line of just applying the rules of engagement and the rules of ruling themselves and all of that. But the British and all these world powers who wanted power knew that for them to gain power, they must have control of resources. And control of resources means that there's going to be development. And that is how they conquered Africa. As we go on, I'm going to explain better what I try to mean by this. But this is just the first point of submission I want to make along this line, but deviating somehow from this video. But that is what it tells. It reveals to us on that in that regard. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Mazi Okonkwo,
Yes.
Mazi Kelechi just raised an issue that before these colonists could be able to sit well and balance well, They need to come and face one resource and then control it. One natural resources amongst many needs to be controlled. They have to have their eye fixated on one. Now, how do you connote that to Asaba massacre?
Yes, thank you, Barawa Sani and the Biafran that are listening to us. It is from time immemorial, we have been crying. Okay, coming to your question straight, everything that have been happening in Nigeria against the Igbos, I would say, is connected to the oil, to what they want to get. The colonial masters have intention. When you look, like as I said, from time immemorial, what have been happening to us reflects in different parts of the Bible. Like Kelechi indicates from many tribes where we have been walking out from. And the cause of that is because of the abundance of blessing, I would say, that God Almighty have given us Biafrans. And that attracts enemy. The kind of gift we have, not only Biafra, but I'm using Biafra in order to connect to the whole Africa. There is something about us in that land. Remember, there was a time people went and began to spy a land. Is that land good? Is it not? Is it a good place? So I think when they came to Africa, they saw the rich things that God has blessed us with. And they become greedy because we, Africa, we don't have intention of killing people, creating weapon, all this missile, all this battle wars, I would say the wars you see today is created by these same colonial masters in order to invent us. They started was divide and rule system. The same people also who they used to catch us and carry us to wherever they're taking us is also our brother. So this saboteur you see has been there for a long time. And when they introduce this thing, is in order to wipe our race out because of the abundance of blessing that God Almighty has given unto us. If you are acquainted with the Bible book of, I think that was Numbers 22 and 23, when Balaam was afraid. Is it Balaam, right? Balaam, right? He was afraid when the people of Israel wanted to find a space to pass, but he was afraid. One thing is when he allows them that the African women that they don't take time, they deliver, they don't, their wives say they born anyhow. Anywhere they go, they saturate. So this become the fear of the colonial master. If you remember, like what we're talking about here, if you see this marginalization, Kelechi, there was a video you made yesterday. I was watching one of the program where two white guys are talking about something in CNN. One said that Africans were not their priority. Do you remember that video? That we are not the priority of the West. When I was watching that, but I was in the morning going to my job, I was sharing tears. But America, he said, have what it takes to solve the problem in Africa. So in other words, if we are not in their diary, we are not the priority. Who are the priorities of this colonial master? When you're talking about the colonial master, all these guys you see saying this thing, they are also in I could say controlled by the same colonial master. Even this your presidency is in Nigeria. So this is the fact we must understand. We Africans and Biafra that are listening here, we have been marginalized for a long time. We are being humiliated because of what we have. This is a time we have to tell all these colonial masters to leave our land by coming together. If you look at what is happening today, even in Biafra, you will see Chinas and Wuru and all of them betraying the struggle. Looking outside is destruction. You have to look inside because after all, even this Fulani, all of us are black. So this fight is against the black. Through all these colonial issues, they hate us. They said we are not their priority. They have a lot of things to offer outside the world. Look at what is happening in Ukraine. All of them are giving money. But those oil is coming from our land. What caused the war? What caused the war? If you want me to connect them as a massacre, it is the same oil that caused the war. Because we are what do they call it? Where oil with a honey day, now there bee, now there you go see crocodile, you go see mosquito, you go see everything on one oil that grow in the white bush. So because we are blessed and we must not allow these colonial masters to still control us, we have to break ourselves first to go out of Nigeria. That is where they hook us into. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mazi Okwo. Mazi 247. They say na where ant dey, na there lizard dey go dey chop food. Now, the colonists say we are not their priorities, right? But our oil and gas is their priority. And that is why they come, they kill everybody because of this oil and gas. What do you think we should do to these people if we want them to stop feeding from our ants? Because they are now the lizard coming to feed on our ants.
Yeah, thank you, Mazes Sonindewo. You see, it's only a fool that will always count his tenants, no matter how much they get money, no matter how they weigh the rich. It's only a fool that will be counting his tenants as his family. No matter how close you are to your tenants, no matter how related, no matter how good you are to them, one day they will get their own house or buildings, they will leave you. Not that they may, they will leave you. And by the time they leave you, your house might have gotten old, or your house might have gotten to a point that the house, you can't even live in the house again. So these people now are not ready to leave until we make them leave. Unless something happens tomorrow morning, where we say we wake up, they tell them, say, that's all you don't come out, they again. That gold, they again. That diamond, they again. Because now, when we are here crying of British, leave us alone. Our brothers in Sierra Leone, in Congo, this one, diamond there, gold there, in Ghana here, they are not even seeing it the same way we are seeing it. They believe they are okay. They believe we are okay. But the truth is this. If you no comot that thing where they burn for fire, that fire no go stop the burn. The only way to stop them is to reject them. Like there's this Sheung Kuti, the Fela Nicola Pokuti Pikin, in talk say, until the day you make your oppressors your enemy, they will not leave you. These people are our oppressors. They are not our friends. Your oppressor is your number one enemy. If you make him your enemy, he will know that the way we now are making this Nigerian government so funanis to understand it. Because when you talk of Nigerian government, people go there think saying that Nigeria. No. When you are talking of Nigeria, you talk of funanis. We are now making them to understand that we know them to be our enemies. And that is why you see them every morning and night. They are bringing weapons. They are bringing men to our community, to our Biafra land. So the only way, get two ways, get now to reject them. If now Pastor Mecca go do that deliverance, he do deliverance for Africa, make them come out. Thank you, Sonny.
Thank you very much. That's why I said it's good that I have too many pastors on this platform, so that when it's time to do spiritual bullet and warfare, they will help me. Mazi Emeka, Pastor Livingstone, before you say something, I want you to connote something together and then finish one point.
Last summer, the British government's policy of continuing to supply arms to the Nigerian federal government was attacked in demonstrations in Britain and abroad. In London, Biafran supporters clashed with the police in Trafalgar Square and Whitehall. Britain was branded with being an accomplice in genocide.
British was branded for being an accomplice in genocide. And when you look at the video we played before, about the sharing of Africa into different segments, it is still bent on the same thing. How do you connect the dots? Maazi Pastor Emeka Livingstone, please, the mic is yours.
Yes. Thank you, Mazia Sonia Parawa. When Kelechi was talking, he raised up very, very fundamental issues, which I'm very sorry we may still have to always make reference to the Bible. And then Biafra 247 raised a strong question or made a very strong observation that is very disturbing. Let me start from his own. He said that in spite of all we are trying to make African nations know, a lot of them feel that they are okay. So people are in bondage and they are okay. How do you deliver them from such a bondage? That is the biggest challenge to liberation. But if the people are aware that they are being used, exploited, with one voice, one resolve, one anger, they will fight a common enemy and victory will be gotten quickly. But the problem is, like 247 identified, there is the divide and rule tactics, which those people used when they came to Africa, pitching brother against brother. And as long as the house is divided, it can never stand, and therefore will remain perpetually in bondage. Even within the contraption called Nigeria, Yorubas don't seem to agree, even among Yorubas in certain areas. Their politicians still believe that they want to rule the people and collect money. They're not even looking at the exploitation that has taken place over the years and has subjected their people to poverty. The very few who are privileged to be in that class travel overseas, get functional education, get contracts, get political offices, and they're content with that. So how do you fight for the Yoruba man to be liberated when even he himself does not believe he's in bondage, but he sees it as an opportunity to make money? The same goes to Igbos. I'm talking about intra-ethnic problem, not inter-ethnic now. So when we talk about inter-ethnic problem, we talk about Igbos may not understand what the Yorubas are saying. The Yorubas don't understand what the Igbos say. So that brings me back to Kelechi's discussion. Where did the black man miss it? Because if you listen to when he was talking about Egypt being, I think, one of the first major world powers, they were blacks. And if you look at their own power, which they wield, truthfully, they were not wielding power to suppress and oppress people. When the whole world was hungry, they came to Egypt for food. So Egypt gave them food for a fee. Egypt did not go to annex their lands using food as a bait. So Egypt was showing something different, which the white nation didn't show. The white man believes that in giving you food, he will exploit you. He will exploit your resources, take them for himself, make you his subject, take control of your land like Leopold of Belgium did, and then exploit you forever. But that of Egypt, they were rather selling grains that Egypt had to the whole world without necessarily annexing territories. They have no territorial ambition.
No invention.
So So, yeah, I'm bishop. So that brings the fundamental question. Where did the black man miss it? And I'm sorry, we still have to go to the Bible. So especially for those who don't believe what we say biblically. These are things we have studied over the years, looked into it very, very well, and understood where the problem of the black man came from. Not that of mankind. We're not talking of that of mankind now, saying the black man. The first misbehavior that was exhibited against God in life was the black man by name Nimrod.
Pastor Mika,
That's
please
the first rebellion.
Because
Hello?
when you say black men, you're actually debasing us by the white man's mentality. We're not black men. We are actually brown-colored, skinned.
Okay,
and then
thank you. No.
I know he
The
uses
reason
it so
why
that we can be able to fastly
black and
identify
white.
what he means.
Exactly. The reason why I use the word black and white. After all, there's no white man that has this color. This is white. Have you ever seen any British or American man with this color? You can't. So neither can you see an African man that is like this. So look at my color. This is black, it's darker than this is black. I'm not black. So, but I was also using it just for quick analogy of what I'm saying. Where did the black man miss it? He missed it first with Nimrod, who was the first king that existed in the whole world, in the place of China. Gather the whole world together, let us build a tower that which as high as heaven. That was rebellion. And God came and scattered the nations by giving them different languages. That's why it is called Babel. Babel means place of confusion. Now, the second place where, no, that wasn't the first place. I'm sorry, forgive me. Forgive me. The first place started from Noah. Oh, forgive me, I've missed my history. Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And Shem was the father of the middle-colored people of the Middle East. You know, the Arabs and the Jews, they have the same ancestry. Shem. Ham was the father of the black people. And Japheth was the father of the Caucasian race. These people you call whites. So in actual fact, the whites were not the head. But favor put them close to the Shemites. The problem with Ham was seeing the nakedness of Noah that made him curse Ham's descendants. And one of them was Canaan, in the land where Jerusalem is today. He said, a servant of servants shall he be. Even though it was an isolated cause, but then the rippling effect has continued to this day. So there was a place where we missed it, and let us assume that God said something. Noah said something that was not in favor of his second son's descendant in the person of Canaan. There shall also come a time when we do things right, and the mistakes we did where we missed it can be corrected. And the time is now. That is why Nnamdi Kanu came up. You see, I see beyond just mere advocacy for liberation.
For now, I'm out from my phone. I go throw away this phone.
I see Nnamdi Kanu delving into the very heart of the problem, and God raised him up for that purpose. So a time has come for the black man to make it right.
All right, Pastor Mazi Emeka Livingstone, thank you for your submission. The message has been gotten. Because of time constraints, we will push to the next speaker so that the next speaker can as well give his own view. Thank you very much. We appreciate your submission.
Thank you.
And Mazi Owubiko, before you shattered the table, listen to something.
We will not allow sub-Saharan Africa to escape that. Okay, we do everything to keep sub-Saharan Africa where it is, also impoverished. It's absolutely vital to the prosperity of everyone else. So let's get clear about that. Okay, and this means all the economic structures, all the global institutions, and the economics we teach everyone is all designed to keep Africa exactly where it is. And whether it is Europe or US or now China, it's always the same. We need Africa to be impoverished because we need those raw materials and we need them dirt cheap. Okay, so that's the message.
That's the message. We need Africa to be impoverished because we need their raw materials. And for us to continue to be on top, they must be kept impoverished. Mazio Biko, you have the mic. How do you see these connected to the massacre of your brothers?
Yeah. Thank you, biafrans. Thank you, Barawa, for giving me the opportunity. Let me just quickly start from here. We need Africa to be impoverished. When they say we need Africa to be impoverished, meaning that they are calling group of people, and the way we are now making plan here to disorganize the meeting they have to put Africa in impoverished is the same way they call the Fulanis, as they take the Fulanis as the using tools to destabilize the light of Africa, which is the Igbo people. Now, we already know the power of divide and rule. Power of divide and rule, and our program today is all about divide and rule. We need Africa to be impoverished. The divide and rule started right here in Europe, which is Britain. Why did they come to this idea? It is because they have found out that Igbo people gave birth to democracy, which circulated all over the world today. And when they found out that Igbo people you can't enter them anyhow, then they call meeting that we need to bring down these people. Europeans gathered. What is your interest? The interest started a long time ago. During the time of Hitler, he said he wanted to wipe out all the Africans and they use Africa as farmland, which when he is using Africa as farmland, the gold, diamond, petrol, gas, everything will just belong to him. But one thing here is these people have found out that they have made a great mistake. Now, that is why most of the archaeologists of this world and the geographers, scientists, they are now looking for a way to correct their errors. When they killed the people in Morocco, when the one Simon used to show and the one all of us know about, the exodus that entered people in Morocco, the more than 300 people. The president of Spain here congratulated the mandate of the president of Morocco, telling him that he did a great job. But the indigenous parliament against him, congratulating the president of Morocco, congratulating for Pedro Sanchez to congratulate the president of Morocco and telling him job well done. So inside this, when you listen to the program of Aisha Buhari, when Aisha Yusuf when she explained what poor people are passing through, you will understand exactly what we are passing through. And we have no other choice than to be whom we are. If you know whom you are, then you know your enemy. How did Igbo people begin to have enemy in this world? It is because they are the people who give life value. Igbo people are the people who, first of all, they name their children Ndubisi, life first. Meaning, people are the first people who understand the value of life. You understand? And when they see that these people give life much value, there is no other way to finish them than joining two heads together. Waiting to join two heads together, it is now happening in our own, which gave birth today autopilot. When they want to use GOS and the head to Simon Eber to go against Nnamdi Kanu and the Biafra, chaos came everywhere. But God still choose some people whom He give interior knowledge to think beyond the imagination. That is why autopilot is born. When Nnamdi Kanu was doing this thing, when Nnamdi Kanu found out that Wazirike is getting tired from all the attack he is getting, because enemies are attacking Igbo people all around the world. Nnamdi Kanu told Wazirike, this statement you are making, this will not deliver the God kingdom on this planet Earth. Then the same jealous system, that is what they implemented. Then, which gave birth to for the kidnap of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu when Wazirike kidnapped him, to subdue him by telling the truth. You understand? But one thing is giving me courage to stand in this camera today, talking to my brothers in Africa, not only Igbo people, but African people at large. When I was trying to understand some history, some strong archaeologists of this world in England, they said the history of this world can never be completed until they revisited Africa. And why did they come to such statement? It is because of this noise they say we are making. This noise we start to make behind Nnamdi Kanu. The noise now is yelling, disturbing them. The spirit of our ancestors is giving them sleepless nights. They are looking for solution. Now they said, these people.
Thank you very much.
Let me land, please. Let me land. They say these people gave birth. These people gave birth to democracy, and democracy is what the whole world need today. And that is the reason they must come, because Biafra is the light of peace that will circulate the whole universe. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sorry for interrupting you. We are just trying to be time conscious so that we don't run aboard. Now, I want us to pick out something here.
This greed. And as a result of that greed, the Belgian Congo became the personal, private property of the King of Belgium.
Did you hear what came out from there? That Congo became the personal property, private personal property of the King of Belgium. This is the agenda. The same way our oil and gas became the personal private property of England, we are now at their mercy, begging them to allow us to go. Africa, it's time to rise up. Master Okonkwo, please. How do you connect what they said happened in Congo to your oil and gas?
It's all about the same mineral resources problem. Congo is suffering for gold attack, while Nigeria is suffering for oil attack. So for the white man, the colonial masters, for them, that's what they call God, G-O-D, is not the God in heaven. Their God is gold, oil, and diamond. That is the main problem. So harvest the oil in Nigeria and kill the people in Congo and massacre them in Sierra Leone. It's the same pattern. And they must use our own brother to carry out all these things. It's all about colonial masters problem. Like as I said, because of the blessings we have, like Pastor Mecca rightfully said before, we are the only people who can produce white and black, but white cannot produce black. So we must put our value into ourselves and stand on it. So what is happening in Congo and what is happening in Nigeria, there's no difference. So do you know if you go to Congo, the Chinese has invaded their bushes, that they use the poor Congo citizens, indigenous people, young boys who are supposed to be in the university, they will dig an endable hole inside the ground on the point of searching for diamond. Sometime I saw one, the earth closed. Two of them was inside there. They didn't come out again in Congo, because this is what they are doing in the bushes of Congo, tilling their ground. I mean, if you see this round hole like those African toilets, that one they go inside, and then they would be using rope to be drawing them. Sometimes the earth closes. Those youth die inside there. Another one is also the people who raise cow in Congo. They are suffering for the holes. The Chinese are not digging after Belgium left. So the next colonial master of Congo now is China. Now, son, when they dig this holes, small holes finish, this hole has unendable thousands of miles inside. When the water flows, these guys don't know where these holes are. A lot of youths, women, young girls, cattle, cow are missing in Congo because of the holes they open for them inside the bush, which they don't know. So these are the consequences of the colonial masters. We have to make sure that we begin to educate our people, and I hope they're hearing us. Thank you. I hand over.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mazi Okonkwo. Your point is well delivered.
And the discovery of rubber became a godsend to King Leopold II.
Leopold ordered the rubber to be collected as fast as possible. Soon, vast areas were stripped of every single rubber vine.
The mindless plundering of the land for its resources was repeated all across Congo Free State. The profits going into the pockets of one man.
The profits going into the pocket of one man. All the rubber trees were ripped off of all.
So I want to ship something in before you continue. Do you remember in all the whole schools in Nigeria, the whole schools, there are two plants. They plant this one, Melala tree. It is the same colonial master. He make everywhere farm of rubber. You know what I'm talking about. Everywhere you go, they plant it.
Exactly. Not true.
Mazikechi, how do you respond to the fact that all the resources that were ripped off of the rubber Congo in Africa was going into the pocket of one white man in supremacy?
You see, I wish I have enough time, but I don't have enough time. But you see, I want to bring another perspective to this.
Yeah, please, please, let's make use of one minute, because we have one other video to touch. Then we call it a day.
Okay, I don't want to blame these people for their shenanigans, anyways, because we actually are the problem. We Africans. The reason why I said we are the problem is this. These people have come to a point where they are dealing with the concept of reasoning. And of course, you know, the byproduct of reasoning is development. Africa was naturally traditional and religious. So in spite of the potentials put in us, in conjunction with the raw materials we had, we actually were not exuding our potentials in conjunction with those materials, those raw materials.
Exactly.
We were actually using our, potentials dormant. We were concentrating on religion and religious rites. But because these people were developing themselves by reasoning, they yearned for resources. Because resources is meant to help them bring about their reasoning to pass, to light. That was why when they came into the African nation or the African nations, they discovered that we were dormant in the context of reasoning. They discovered that we were concerned. In fact, we were so dormant in the context of reasoning. And now, of course, when you keep anything dormant, it begins to go sour or spoil. That is why we saw that our people were easily able to manipulate and used as tools to sell one another. Because the potentials God gave us were dormant. The white people, so-called white people, saw the potentials and used them against us.
Thank you very much for your submission. That is well delivered.
Leopold II. The environmental damage was only a tiny part of the story. And
environmental damage is part of the story. Emeka, Pastor Emeka, hold on, Pastor Emeka, please. I have seen Gaddafi there. I've seen Mazi Gaddafi there. Okay, this one where your face dey like this. No fight with personal. Welcome to the studio.
What's different with the own and your own, Sonny?
Welcome to the studio as with a balance. All right, from the video we just played now, you heard something that environmental damage after they take out the resources has been a primary factor to the people. Mazi Gaddafi, please. The same environmental damage is what has left people in Biafra land desolated in their homes. Water has become undrinkable. Oil spills has rampaged everywhere. And even houses have been taken by the damages caused from the environmental pollution. This is the same natural resources which is taking care of the needs of the same people that came and extracted it. But yet, we are suffering our own dividends of the oil in damage pattern. How do you connect what happened? I just want people to understand that when you say Congo or when you say Sierra Leone, that it is not different from the same pattern that they are using for you in Nigeria and same colonists that came. Please say something on this. Please use 2 minutes because you just came in.
I did not just come in. Thank you. What I want to say here is that I hope my voice is coming out, right? Yes. Hello, can you hear me?
So they're saying no sound. What is
Yes,
that?
we can hear you. We can hear you. We can.
What I want to. Okay, God bless you. Yeah, what I want to say here is that Biafra is a torch that points, that illuminates the world. Biafra is a torch. You know, when that's a torchlight, it will give to the dark place. That is why even the situation that's going on there were happening in Biafra land, where they pretend through shell we are ripping us off. So from the moment we discovered who we are, from the moment we discovered our rights, British got to join with the world to oppress us, to make sure, because any day that these Congo people rise up to know that these people are ripping them off, you will see the tribe that rise up will be oppressed by the whole world that are benefiting from that evil act. So what I want to say is that since this thing were and the African people rise up, to say no, this thing can't continue as a touch to the world. And the British see that if these people has gotten knowledge, for instance, in the Bible, when Adam and Eve ate the fruit, God said, behold, these people are now knowledgeable, they are now wise like us. They are now wise like us. He now said, let us drive them out of this place before they will eat the other fruit. So that is just a kind of what British is applying against the Biafran people. They said these people, if you check that Osman Danfodio, this man video clip that was saying Igbo people are this, Igbo people are that. That is the way they look at us. Even during the time of Nazi, the British said these people are very smart set of human beings on earth. So they are doing is to oppress us to make sure we did not see the light of the day. Because if they think if they allow us, we are going to teach others same. Likewise, me and you can be doing things. If I'm cheating you, you will. If I'm cheating you very well, we'll be fine, we'll be friends. But the day you discover that I've been cheating you, we'll start having problems. So all I got to do is to make sure you did not discover your right. So that is why the British, that's why the white guys, that is why they said we are not their priority. Because when it hasn't in our matter, we will learn things. So for us not to know our rights, that's why you see things that are happening the way they are happening. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I love this, my comrades. I don't know the kind of school where they go, whether not only the God-given wisdom where God give them. And they take the analyze matter like this. Hey, may God enrich you now with more wisdom. He said.
It pales into insignificance against the wider picture of corruption, crime, and inhumanity.
In 1890, after touring the
crime, corruption, and inhumanity. Torture is also there. And it is the same thing that happened in the Biafran region.
Congo Free State, the African-American journalist, lawyer, and historian George Washington Williams wrote an open letter to King Leopold. Published in newspapers throughout the world, it highlighted the horrors practiced against the black people there.
A large demand for the raw materials will necessitate changing the method of producing it, because the Europeans needed these commodities in large quantity.
Because the Europeans needed these commodities in large quantities. Follow people, please. The Europeans needed these in large quantities. In Europe, can Europe sustain without the gas that is coming from Russia? If Russia turns down the gas valve or tap, can Europe still survive? Because I am looking at a situation whereby when the Biafran people puncture one tire, everybody will hear it. Because what was done here, the commodities were needed in large quantities. Because of what? Their interest and their importance and what it will serve them. Mazi 247. Mazi Biko, please. You have 1 minute to say something about this area. Connect the two of them to meet, that of Biafra and that of this one.
Yeah, Europeans know that without our oil and the gas of Russia, that they are not going to survive. Now, in the part of Russia, if Russia close the tap or box the tap of the gas, Europeans know that they are not going to survive. So it is good that Biafrans begin to learn how to attack back and how to bring back revenge. You know, we have the oil, they need our oil. If they need our oil, they should come to us And we should negotiate how they can make use of it, not them killing us to take it by force, the way they have planned to put Africa under bondage. Our oil is our oil. And if we learn how to protect the oil very, very well, they will apply wisdom on how to come legally. That is the only thing Mazen Namdekan is fighting for. You need our oil. We can't drink it alone. Come legally, but don't come through back door. Legal. Let us negotiate how you are going to use it. If not, people should protect that oil very, very well for peace to reign. If they need it, they should come. The same way they are protecting Russia today for Putin not to lock up the gas. That is the same shoe we're supposed to put them as well.
Thank you, Mazi. God bless you for that submission.
In the case of Leopold, he would impose a very brutal way of extracting the rubber.
Villager.
They had to impose a very brutal way of extracting the rubber, to the point that you now see what is on the screen. Villagers were given strict targets, and they had to put something on their neck. Slaves in your own land. Slaves in your own land. By the people that came to say they want to come and give you development. They want to come and give you light. They want to come and give you, oh my God, when Africans will start, I don't know if the whole world will be able to stand.
Villagers were given strict targets for the amount of rubber they were forced to collect. Punishment for failure was brutal and drastic.
Quotas should be established for the Africans to provide, and if they couldn't provide the quotas, limbs were amputated, people's hands and
their hands were amputated, and their legs as well were amputated if they don't produce the amount of rubbers that is needed by the colonists. In your own safe land, oh. Hey. Mazi 247, please. This one, they boil me. I'll leave this one, make you talk about Anabe.
Anyway, time no day, Sonny. You go give me this video in Quebec. No verse. That's by the way. These people now, they cut their hand. Not because they thief. Not because they do. If you look at the boys standing there, you will see two of them even there are little children. Okay, tell me, what do you expect of that boy? Why will you cut off his arms? If the video goes on, you go see where they carry the hands, where they cut. They don't cut them, dry them, they hold them. When they cut them, they preserve them the way they preserve them and take it back to their land and keep them in their museum. If you go to their museum now, you don't see them, it's because of the new development we are having in today's world, because of what people do. Before, they keep them there. This thing where these people do us, the problem where I get is that we where they dehumanize like this, where they kill like this, you go see somebody British and all these Europeans don't cut their hand, cut their leg, or even cut their pikin. They go see they shout one Nigeria or one Ghana or one Ethiopia or one Congo. Look at how go Congo now. Look at Congo. Go Liberia. When I was a little boy, very little, I remember when one person, one man, very rich man, we believe say Ide Obodo, we never knew that he was in Liberia until that war busted out. He came back very rich. He started telling us how Liberia was a very beautiful place. Today, go see Liberia CB. Go see Congo as it be. And still, we are there worshiping these people until we learn to call our enemy by name. It will never be well with us. That is just the simple truth. For time, thank you.
Thank you. Because of time constraints, Pastor Mazi Emeka, please, 1 minute. Give your view on this very part.
Thank you very much. If you look at the whole thing, you see that Kelechi talked about the docility of the African people or the black man. That was why he was colonized. Biko said, if we ever come together to understand whom our common enemy is, we shall be liberated. 247 has come with the same kind of thing, saying that unless you do so, it shall never be well with us. So, in a nutshell, apart from Biafrans, who seem to understand to a large extent the exploitation and domination of the white man, other African countries don't even know what's going on. And even if they do, a lot of them see Biafrans as, they don't even believe what Biafra is saying. So we have a lot of problems to solve. We have to keep sensitizing African countries. Is it either when we have gotten Biafra, then we can concentrate in sensitizing them so that we can bring the development to them? Or is it while we are going for Biafra, we're doing the sensitization as well? We have a big problem. The problem is within Africa. I think if they come to the knowledge of the fact that they're in trouble, then we can collectively decide to throw away a common enemy. The only people I know that are aware that they have problems and they want to be free from it, they are the Biafra. Not even the people from the Yorubas only came into acknowledging this because of the pressure we have put and what they have seen from the Hausa Fulanis dealing with them, the Fulanis dealing with them. Before now, they didn't buy it. And so basically and fundamentally, it's these two things. The docility of our people that made them to become foolish, and the determination now to wake up and then change the narrative. It starts from Biafra. It is only us that understands this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Because Biafrans have come to a point of no return. And there is no going back. Not the killings of Biafrans, nor the way they amputated these Africans in Congo, or the way they are hunting Biafrans in Biafra land will stop us from marching to our freedom. Now, as we prepare to round up this broadcast, let us look at another video that we will use to end the broadcast. Let Biafrans pay very close attention because we want you to understand some deep secrets as we are fighting the mountains that are from far and within. There are some confessions that are coming out every day, which you need to listen and extract everything that is important. We are on the remembrance of the Biafran massacre, and there are other people that are trying to destroy everything that we are doing to make sure MNK comes out, to also make sure the Biafran people are free. Make una listen to this video, and after then, all my comrades, una go give una comment as we draw the curtain.
Not 2050. On 12 December, they made a fund operation that put a lot of cash on their pockets, and they bought 16 guns. They distributed it to the criminals in Biafra land. And you can't believe how many people that have died because of this fundraising. Till date, the Anambra State government, whom I so much trust, I so much believe in them, and I've said it before, and I'm still saying it again. I have so much confidence in Anambra State government because of Soludo's education capability.
Mazi Kelechi, what is your reaction to this very part?
Evidently, you cannot. A reasonable person cannot can understand that betrayal is not far-fetched from this submission. You know, when someone who is actually looking for freedom and asking for freedom and demanding for freedom and holding on to cause of freedom suddenly begin to actually uphold the dictates of the enemy, that gives you an impression where they belong. I don't always take him seriously because I see him as someone who actually lacks, he doesn't even have, he's not even informed, not to talk about having wisdom. He actually is someone who was given a platform to actually show himself and use his energy for the cause of freedom, but he actually messed it up. And obviously, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's situation had actually made us understand basically where all these people stand. Now, you can imagine him talking about Soludo and education. I don't know what the education he's referring. I don't know whether he's referring to where Soludo's children are schooling abroad, or maybe where his international awards, and what he's talking about an school. Truly, he has shown that he's really not be taken seriously. Somebody out of his mind, somebody who is acting drugs. Imagine such a who calls himself, who has been with Mazen Nnamdi Kanu for years, learning about Nnamdi Kanu, being schooled by Nnamdi Kanu, yet comes here to order this. You know, it's amazing. It's surprising. At the same time, we're not surprised because we know already that they sell out and they are just belly infrastructure people for agitation. They are not real agitators. So we know all of this. That's what I know.
Thank you very much. His confession is in accordance to help their friends to understand their betrayal. Follow Biko, a minute, please.
Oh, Biafrans, as we can see, they used to say that nothing you can do in this life that your palms doesn't know. So, onwere ihe uchichi mere, obe aka na amaro. I blame those who will look upon such a person and they begin to take order from them. But let me touch the area of education of Soludo. Our people used to say that passing sense is not passing sense. I wonder how our people will grade someone who is speaking British English to become an educated person. Speaking grammar and the vocabulary British English, it does not give you the right of being wise or having wisdom. Soludo went to school. He can speak British English, but Soludo doesn't understand the one single Igbo parable. You know, passing sense is not passing sense. Ask me in one Igbo parable, and Ebozo azota ala tupu azobute. But all the educated people, parawa, what it means, first of all, you grab the land before looking for the mat you will use to sleep on it. Tell me, all those educated Nigerians, PhD holders, master degree holders, graduates, can they come up and they challenge any one of us, even 247, he tell you don't bring that kind of grammar near me. He will tell you that thing you are bringing one big grammar. Don't bring that grammar. I know this grammar, but I want to speak exactly what people can understand. And that's why Mazen Nandekan, when he is here, he say he's not ready to speak those British grammar. Are you telling me that a Soludo speak better grammar than Nandekan, who studied in England?
All right, thank you, Mazi. Thank you, Mazi. Thank you.
Yeah,
Mazi
passing sense
247.
is not passing sense.
Yeah, thank you. Mazi 247. Did you listen to the video? What is your take on okay, wait, let me play it for you so that you can listen to it. Because it's confession time, and we want you to understand what has been happening to Biafrans, how Biafrans have been killed, the linkages of how these people are working with the zoo government, and what may have likely happened to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's kidnap, because they are confessing. When you connect the confession trend here to everything
Yeah.
that is happening, you know why some Biafrans have been dying, because people have to go and point hands to them and to show where they stay before things like this could happen. Listen to what Moron said.
Not 2050. On 12 December, they made a fund raising that put a lot of cash on their pockets, and they bought 16 guns. They distributed it to the criminals in Biafra land. And you can't believe how many people that have died because of this fundraising. Till date, the Anambra State government, whom I so much trust, I so much believe in them, and I've said it before, and I'm still saying it again. I have so much confidence in Anambra State government because of Soludo's education capability.
All right, there are two things involved here. First, he confessed of his allegiance with Soludo. Then he went ahead to confess to blackmail ESN of calling ESN the unknown gunmen or the terrorists in one Nigeria. Now remember that before BBC made a video, before BBC made a video of misinformation and disinformation, Ikenga had done a video stating how much we raise in fundraising and telling them is a claim amount and what the money is used to buy, and then declaring that these are the money that is funding terrorists in one Nigeria and in Southeast. So from that was in December and November and October, before the video of BBC misinformation and disinformation surfaced. So now this one now is another recent video that Ikenga has released to confess in confirmation of what he has been doing, his allegiance with Soludo. So from what you have heard him say, what can you tell Biafrans and how they should go with this?
Well, you know, this afternoon or this evening, the last video I made, the last program I made today, before now, I asked people, I asked everybody that nobody should listen to this boy again. There are two things I said. One, he is mad. Secondly, he is looking for relevance. He is seeking attention. The more we discuss him, the more you will make people to go and look. Search out what you said if it is true. I don't want to talk about him. He is a useless boy. Number one. Number two thing is that Ikenga telling you about who told him how much you made, we made, ESM made. Who told him how many guns ESM bought? Who told him? How did he get the information? if they were true at all. Now, this boy has been a homeless, like squatting in South Africa until politicians began to give him money. He went and got a house furnished, and now he can speak from a house. Before now, he has been speaking from a shop where they sell attachment, which we don't even know if it is his, which we are not sure. So accusing us and accusing themselves, they want to give each other there. They want to poison themselves with that rat poison. That is exactly where they are going to end up. They are getting to the point where they will finish each other. But as for me and my autopilot that I believe, and the Mazen Nandekalo, I believe we have the key to bring Mazen Nandekalo out, not them, and not their propaganda against us. So let the dead bury themselves. If they no one bury themselves, vultures go help them bury themselves. We should not be discussing somebody like Igenga.
Thank you. Thank you, 247. Thank you. You have made your submission.
Thank you.
It is confession time. Now, let me play the next and the rest part of the video so that Biafrans will get the message that we are extracting from here.
But after all the information that I've provided for them concerning this thing that lives in Finland, the boy is still there making problem, threatening the servicemen, threatening the government, threatening of how he would declare a country. This is just ordinary person that are married to Finnish woman just to get
now come on this rubbish now.
His document.
He doesn't deserve our time.
There is something I want you to get.
Our time. How can we be listening
with
to
all
this thing and we are looking at him? I beg you, throw away and come up for screen.
Information that we have given to them. This is telling you about they are working with the Nigerian government, how they feed Nigerian government and the Southeast governors information of how Biafrans are being killed every day.
But it's there.
This leads to the houses of Biafrans and Biafrans that are coordinators and the ones that will later refuse to work with them. And this is how they get to kill them. From his confession of saying, with all the information we have delivered to them, that is what I want people to pick out. When you see Biafrans being reported to have been killed by Ebubagu, like the other ones that you saw the other time that will shoot and then everybody died, where nobody thought something like that could have happened. It does not happen just like that. People give information that are inside the family of IPOB. And he's opened his mouth here to tell you, with all the information that we have given, I'm not interested with the rest of the things that he said. I'm only interested in picking the point that is important. Because ordinarily, listening to everything he says will not make sense. But when you start picking points from what he's saying, that is where you are able to make Biafrans to understand something. Pastor Emeka Livingstone, please, I want you to use this point that he said they are giving information with all the information that they are giving to the Nigerian government. I want you to make a point there for Biafrans to understand clearer in your own view.
Thank you very much. Well, that is the only reason why I want to talk in respect to this. I don't even like calling his name. It's not reasonable. It's not somebody to deal with. It's in terms of morality, discipline, and principles, is a man of very low morals. So, I mean, why I'm only talking is because he's saying he gave information to the Nigerian government against Simon Ekpa, about Simon Ekpa, and that he's still alive. And that if the Nigerian government can pick Onyendu, who was of such a high profile, how much less Simon Ekpa? Biafrans should know, and those of them in DOS who are his colleagues and cronies, that he's just confessing that they know what happened to Onyendu, or they're happy it happened to him, and they're planning to kill Simon Ekpa. He's not fighting for the Biafran struggle. So we now know, we already knew that this guy was never a Biafran in spirit. Where we heard that Onyendu once suspended him, and he was brought in again through the back door. And all the comments he made about Simon having a low life background is on the contrary. It's what is happening to him from selling attachments. He got this thing. He's in liaison with politicians. He believes in Anambra. So we just know the kind of person he is. He's just a bag of trash. So, but these are the people that are betraying Biafrans. They are killing them. These are very evil people. Biafrans will know them. Anytime Biafra comes, a person like, I don't like mentioning his name, she'll face the full wrath of the law of the Biafran government. Nobody will kill him, but they'll be caught. He'll go to court to defend himself. Otherwise, I don't want to talk about him. It's like you know, soiling my mouth to mention him. He's inconsequential. He's a nonsense person. Thank you.
Thank you, Mazi. Thank you very much.
The whole government of the day have failed us because I strongly believe they are supporting this boy. If not, if you can rendition Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that have over 17 not.
Mazi Paulo Biko, if somebody tells you that the whole Nigerian government have disappointed them, and that if the same Nigerian government were able to kidnap Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, which they funnel it out, why can't those same people come and kidnap another comrade? What message does that mean? Or how do you send that out or explain to Biafrans to understand?
You know the rendition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I didn't make video for 6 months to understand exactly what is going on. They are the people that came up. But this particular person, this particular individual, I really don't like to mention his name out of my mouth, you know. But if someone will say, instead, Simon Ekpa will give us Biafra, it is better for him to hang himself and die. And when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was here, he is still doing the same thing, meaning that he has never been interested of being a free man as a Biafran. And the people who is giving him like and who is supporting him has never supported the Biafra. Because in another way, these people have shown how they colluded to sell Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who want to give us Biafra. And the another person who want to bring the Biafra, he is asking entire Nigerian government, why is it difficult for all 200 million people to catch one person? Your battle will be in Finland. So the thing is, you who is listening to him, you have to check. Bible said, when a blind man lead a blind man, all of them will end up in the pit. So this is the little way I can interpret to these people.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Ordinarily, no one would love to listen to this confession, but we pick some points from them so that it will be on record that they came out and told you they work with Nigerian government, they give information to them, and if they were able to kidnap Mazi Nnamdi Kanu with the way that they have funded them with the information, they are now telling you that the government of the day, have failed them by not making same attempt.
Please, Abarawa, Please, Aparawa, may I just chip in? May I just chip in something, please?
Yes.
You know, these same people once accused Simon Ekpa that he received a bribe from Nigerian government against the Biafran struggle. There is one guy too that came out the other day. I see it yesterday. He wrote something on Facebook. He made a declaration on Facebook asking Simon Ekpa to come for a debate. I just replied him and told him that Simon Ekpa's credibility in the Biafran liberation is not contingent upon your commendation or recommendation. The guy is not important. These are miscreants, low-life people. So they accused Simon Ekpa before that he was an agent of the Nigerian government against Biafra. Now they are turning around and saying that they gave Nigerian government information to kill Simon Ekpa. Now that means Simon Ekpa has been doing a good job. They are the people who have the problems. They talk and talk back. They talk front and talk back. So you know the kind of person they are. These are just like touts. These are not human beings you deal with. When somebody of reasonable character makes a comment, like when Blinken spoke something, the American Secretary of State, I came up openly on Facebook to contend what he says. I didn't like it, and I gave what he said. But it is not somebody like this. It's not somebody like this who has nothing to offer. Just I don't know, please, gentlemen, would you just give me this privilege? I am having a call from one of my customers who spent about 2 hours. I beg of God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mazi Pastor Emeka Livingstone. We have actually come to the end of this broadcast.
Sorry, before you close, let me help Pastor Livingstone to finish up. If Simon Ekpa, they work for Nigerian government, why you they break your little head to go beg the same Nigerian government where they work for? May they go kidnapper for
May they go kill him. Thank you, 247.
People know. Now you talk, say someone they don't collect money, Nigeria don't pay. But someone collect the money, make I go like him, make it collect money, make we take and buy war plane. Make it collect the money. Fools everywhere.
These are Yeye people. Nonsense. This man we should never even discuss this issue on any program again. It's a rat.
Make it die naturally. Make it die. Make we live and make it die.
Biafrans should understand the allegiances that these people are having with the Nigerian government, how they plan the kidnap of MNK, and how they are planning the killings of other Biafrans every day. That is the message that is coming out from this their confession. They will be confessing one after like this, and I will be dropping them small, and people will be getting the message very straight. Because on daily basis, you see Biafrans reportedly killed, and most of them are ardent IPOB members that were in Biafra land. Many people don't know how come about. But today you have been able to hear someone from IPOB telling you with all the information that we give to the government, they don't go after them. They cannot go after them. And he said, they have failed us. The government of the day have failed us because they are not giving them from what they agreed. So we thank you all, Biafrans, for listening and for watching. And I will give the mic to my comrades for their closing remarks. Please, one minute because we don't have much time. Mazi Kelechi, please, 1 minute for your closing remark, please.
Yeah, Biafrans, I would say that don't get distracted. Don't allow yourself to be distracted by this. There are so many important things that we should concentrate on right now. So many things are happening around us. We have to divert our energy to profitable things. Listening to instructions, listening to Mazi Simon Ekpa when he issues instructions that we need to follow, at the same time protecting our backs, and then also preserving yourself and storing the things you need to store against the days of real decision. And I want you to understand that such kind of, like somebody I saw today on Facebook, I think I got the first message or the video, who was talking about he wants to challenge Simon Ekpa, blah, 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 blah. And I told him, I said, Simon is busy. If you want to challenge anybody, challenge us. We're here. I'm here. I just need somebody to join me, and I'll bring it. Even if you are 10, I'll face you alone with one person. I'll face your panel. So leave all those issues. We don't need to be distracted. It is already our time to get to the promise. So they will always come with distractions. Stay strong, stay put, be strong and of good courage, according to the words of the Lord to Joshua in Joshua chapter 1, verse 28. God bless you all. We meet you again on Monday, same time. Thank you so much. My name is Kelechi Ambrose. And please subscribe to Biafra Global Network. That's my channel. I saw somebody asking what's my channel. My channel is Biafra Global Network. So subscribe to it and you'll receive updates of information and broadcast. Thank you so much, everyone. God bless you. Real good.
Thank you, Mazi. Mazi Biko, please. 1 minute.
Yeah, Biafrans, thank you so much for listening to us. All we want now is your support to subscribe so that our messages will be circulating. You subscribe to 555 Vision, Biafran Gospel, and the Bible, where we are packaging everything that is happening. The Bible says, how can they hear without a teacher? And how can they learn without a teacher? That is what we are doing. We devote ourselves to serve Biafra, to make sure that this gospel of Biafra, gospel of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and Simon Ekpa, circulate to the last man on this earth. That at the end, Biafra will be declared, we will enjoy in Biafran land our life. And we keep on praying for God to strengthen Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, and we will be pushing up for his release, that he will come and give us victory. I thank you all. Support us by subscribing to all our channel and YouTube. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mazi. 247, please.
Thank you, Biafrans. Please, there's a new development every Biafran need to know. The 1 million men and the women, $5, $10. You can join this group with just $5 or $10 a month. You'll be added to the group. Your qualification is just pay the sum of $5 or $10 or $1 million. If you just want to be in the group, the minimum amount is $5. Pay $5 or $10 or more as you wish. You will be added into the group, and in this group you'll be privileged to some informations that other people do not have. So please, all of them you pay through ESN, IPOB in USA.org/donate. So please, it's very, very important that we do. Everybody, at least if you know fit pay 1,000 euro, 10,000 euro, you can pay $5. You can pay $5. I beg everybody, try and support ESN. That you see, everything we discuss today, everything we talk from beginning to the end, if we have what it takes, just like as you always hear someone say, if you give me only one fighter jet, Biafra will come today. That's what Simon used to say, and I trust him. I believe him in that. All we need is to support ESN, is to support this fight, this battle, so we go home once and for all. Please, Biafrans, I love you all. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience and the sharing and the being with us and the gingering us. I love you all. Thank you. My regards to my comrades in the studio and those that have left also. And my regard to Mazi Simon Ekpa, Omada husband. Somebody say I must greet Omada husband. And my love and prayer to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, anywhere he is. May the hand of God Almighty strengthen and cover him through Jesus Christ our Lord. And every other Biafran that has been taken away In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
He said 247, thank you very much. Biafrans all over the world, thank you all for being part and parcel of this broadcast. We commend you all for hitting the like button and sharing and everything that you're doing. And we say stand tall and remain resolute. Dewo Omochineke from here.
Last summer, the British government's policy of continuing to supply arms to the Nigerian federal government was attacked in demonstrations in Britain and abroad.
Wow.
In London, Biafran supporters clashed with the police in Trafalgar Square and Whitehall. Britain was branded with being an accomplice in genocide. At Basel in Switzerland, a British trade week was cancelled, and later in Bonn, Mr. Wilson, on an official visit, was mobbed by protesting students. The Biafran lobby in London was able to secure an emergency debate in both Houses of Parliament. It ended in uproar. Mark Press reprinted the whole of the Nigerian debate in a booklet with added comments in the margin. Comments which drew parallels with Hitler, Himmler and Stalin.
There were protests throughout Africa. Britain was seen as helping the Nigerian government to pursue a policy of genocide. The scandal also split opinion in Britain.
Should we stop sending arms to Nigeria? Whether this would have any effect or not, should we stop sending them now?
Yes.
Hugh Fraser.
To my mind, it's a very simple, and the answer is yes. The alternative is, as proposed by people like Woodrow Wyatt, an MP in the Times today, to keep up with the Russians. This is morally absolutely intolerable. It's politically inept. Your policy is losing out. You're making a fool of ourselves throughout the world. The people are regarding this country with moral obloquy. It's not this medical, the policy has failed.
If we don't supply arms to the Nigerian government, the Russians are going to go on doing it. The Russians have told the Nigerian government that whatever happens, they're going to see them through to victory. Well, is it wise that we should allow the whole of this vast area, with 52 million people in it, with more oil in it than Kuwait, to fall into the hands of the Russians? I mean, it's absolutely crazy.
The federal government won, helped by the British arms. But the resulting scandal...
IPOB, one family. Biafrans all over the world. If we want safety and security for our people, then let's continue to support Eastern Security Network. All donations are welcome. No contribution is too small or too large. Do your part, knowing that freedom is in our hands and together we must all rise to the occasion. Go to our website to make your contribution, www.ipobinUSA.org/donate. And remember that freedom is not free, but together we restore it. Farm by farm, forest by